Morning. Okay, we're going to read chapter 11. It wasn't difficult to work out what the bookshop was going to look like. Nine still had to find it in the maze of beyond. She walked and walked through the cobbled streets, occasionally rolling her ankles on the uneven stones. She felt like she had been magically shrunk to the size of a beetle, weaving amongst the oversized everyday items. She walked on further until she passed the anvil-shaped blacksmith shop and a huge purple teapot decorated with strawberries. It smelled wonderful, but this was no time for tea. After the teapot, the shops ran out, replaced by occasional ramshackle stalls of witches and wizards selling dodgy-looking charms or goods. The streets were almost empty of customers. Surely she had reached the back of beyond. And then, there it was, all by itself, at the end of the bumpy stone path. It had a huge purple roof shaped like an open book perched on top of the building, which was dotted with windows. A large bay window jutted out on the right, and on the left a curving set of steps made of books led to the front door. Nine stared in amazement. All those floors, all those books. It was like a dream. But even more importantly, she longed to find out what it was that her ma had safely stowed away somewhere within its walls. She needed to find it, and she needed to find it quickly. Dish and spoon were probably putting the finishing touches to their formula, and then they had to get away from Ophelia as soon as possible. Nine ran enthusiastically up the book steps, but as she reached the front door, her heart all of a sudden sank. There was a blind pulled down over the door and a rusty creaking sign hanging nearby, which said, "Open in 5." Nine folded her arms and tutted. Then she watched in amazement as the words seemed to erase themselves, and new writing then appeared. "Open after lunch," followed by a hastily scrawled addition underneath, "probably," and then another "possibly." Nine sighed and went around to the bay window on the right. She cupped her hands around her eyes to peer through the grimy window. There were bookshelves galore. Books beyond books were stacked everywhere, higgledy-piggledy in piles that nearly touched the ceiling, stuffed on shelves, even lining the staircases that went up and down to the different floors. It looked incredible. She longed to be inside, to search the books, to smell them. What an incredible bookshop! What incredible books could be lurking inside a magical bookshop like this? "It's shut," I muttered, half hoping the candle could hear her. "Are you talking to me?" the candle said sulkily. "Does that mean we're friends again? I'm not sure if I want to be your friend again." "We can be friends," Nine said stiffly. "Just maybe talk a little bit less." "Then maybe a grumpy little bit less," said the candle. "Fine, it's a deal," said Nine awkwardly. "Anyway, the bookshop's shut." "Oh dear," said the candle. "You know it's not been the same since the bookseller left all those years ago." The bookseller, they would have known all those magical books inside out and known exactly what to recommend, just like Mr. Downs used to do for Nine at the library. She felt a pang as she thought of the dear librarian. She would probably have loved to get his hands all over these books. He would probably have loved to get his hands all over these books. It's ever so tricky-some, that shop now, but ooh, it's a bookshop, isn't it? So it's still going to be ever so brilliant. Nine felt herself warm a little towards the candle again. She wondered how many books it had read, lighting the pages for readers late into the night. Nine was desperate to go inside. She ran onto the other side of the bookshop, peering through more of the windows. Somewhere in there was the item her ma had been hiding. "Oh, wretched shop! Cease this infuriating closure. Will you never open?" roared a turnipy wizard voice from the front of the shop. Nine pushed herself flat against the wall of the bookshop and held her breath. There was a sound of an increasingly frustrated knocking. Ophelia, the unpredictable, must complete her shopping, and you are preventing her. I, Gazillion the Unstoppable, demand you now to open. And there was the sound of kicking the door. "Do not blame me if she reduces you to ashes, and I'm not called a Gazillion the Unstoppable for nothing. I will not be deterred by a mere door." Nine listened to the wizard's repeated knocking and kicking and ranting. "Yes, well," said Gazillion, puffing and panting after a short while. "Just to be clear, door, I'm still unstoppable. He lowered his voice and spoke quickly. I'm just, having a quick comfort break. At the sound of hastily departing footsteps, 9 poked her head around the corner of the building to see Gazillion walking in a very funny, very fast waddle. She guessed in the direction of the giant chamber pot. The sooner we get away from Gazillion and Ophelia, the better, she muttered to the candle. She didn't like being stuck in the same place as them, one little bit. Better crack on with your shopping then, said a voice from the satchel. The secret shop. Where is the secret shop? You're lucky I happen to know this place like the back of my hand. Ooh, been all over, I have. Just I keep getting taken back to the candle shop, and 9 lifted the flap of her satchel and peered inside, huffing at the little scorch marks dotted everywhere. Can't think why. Fine, so where is the secret shop? It's a secret, giggled the candle. 9 gave the satchel a little shake. If you don't start being a bit more helpful, I'm going to take you back to the candle shop as well. Oh, all right, Grumpy, said the candle good-naturedly. Take 5 steps to your left. What? Go on, take 5 steps to your left. 9 sighed and took 5 side steps. Now, go 5 steps to your right. 9 sighed again and took 5 side steps to her right. I'm back here where I started. The candle giggled. Just checking you were listening. 9 shook the satchel again. All right, giggled the candle. Walk down the other side of the bookshop until you reach the back. 9 walked past the bookshop, then suddenly there was that feeling again. That feeling of something behind her. The hairs on the back of her neck all prickled. Her palms began to feel slightly sweaty. She turned around suddenly. She scanned the area with the sharp eyes of a thief. Nothing. No one. There was a sudden silent rush of something flying past her, ahead of her, which made the hairs on the back of her neck stand up. She looked frantically around, but there was nothing to be seen. Here we are, chirped the candle, breaking her thoughts. 9 stared. There was nothing in front of her, not even a cobbled path. It was probably the kind of thing that only people who knew what they were looking for knew that they were looking for it. And 9 had no idea what she was looking for. I'd put your hands out if I were you, said the candle. So 9 put her hands in front of her, walking slowly, carefully. If there was one thing the world of magic had taught her, it was not to believe in her own eyes anymore. And she was right. Her outstretched hands bumped into a warm, smooth feeling of wood. Wood. Invisible, secret wood. She felt it all around her. A door, breathed 9. Open it, whispered the candle. Go on, I dare you. And again there was a little giggle. 9's hands tracked over the invisible wood until she touched something cool and metal. Her heart thumping. 9 twisted the handle and the door opened inwards. The room beyond was dimly lit, and 9 could see nothing beyond the brown doormat that lay just inside. The word shh was spelled out in blood-red letters across the mat. Holding her breath, 9 stepped inside, and the door clicked quietly shut behind her. And that takes us to chapter 12, which makes us around about halfway.